Hello, hello. Okay, this is the second lecture of our SAT Math Prep, where we'll talk about linear equations in two variables now. Okay, in the first question, it says which of the following is an equation of line L in the xy plane above? You see the line. So, simply, we can write a line equation something like this: y equals to mx plus n. Here, m will be the slope of the equation of the line, and n will be the y-intercept. Okay, so what is a slope? A slope is something like we can call rise over run. For example, this is a line with a higher slope. The slope reduces when I do this. So, rise over run, I mean this. This is the rise, and this is the run. Rise over run. In our example, let us see. This is a run, for example, 2 units, and run is 2 units, and rise is 2 units. Okay? 2 over 2. When it's from left to right increasing, it's a positive slope. And negative slopes are like this. Rise over run. Okay? So, in our example, rise and run are the same, and 2 over 2, or you can think of it 3 over 3, doesn't matter, it's same always. So it's gonna be 1. So our slope is 1, my friends. So it's gonna be y equals to 1x, that is x, plus n. Now it's time for looking for n. What is n? It's, as we said, y-intercept. Y-intercept is, this is y-axis, at which point the line passes y-axis. So that is 1. So y equals to x plus 1 should be our equation of the line. Okay, in the second question, we are shown a scatter plot showing the line of best fit. Maybe you're hearing this for the first time. Let me explain. You have some data about the width and length of iris petals. I found the picture from Google. So that is an iris petal. So they gather information just looking at different iris petals, and they put them into a scatter plot. And the line of best fit is something like this: the best interpretation as a line of these data. Okay? So that means most of the time the values, the data will be around this line. So this is a line of best fit. Don't worry, the question is very simple. Based on the line of best fit, not based on the scatter plot itself, based on the line of best fit, the width of an iris setosa petal is 19 millimeters. 19 millimeters. What is the predicted length in millimeters of the petal? So what is the equation for line of best fit? It's gonna be like y equals to 1.67x plus 21.1. So it's like we are given x equals to, the width is equal to 19 millimeter. So its width will be 1.67 times 19 plus 21.1. Okay. Now I will show you, I won't calculate it. It's obviously can be calculated when you have a calculator. But I will talk about a little bit different. Now it's 19 is here. When 19 is here, the value on the line of best fit will be between 50 and 55. So it's not going to be more than 55, no. It won't exceed 55. So the answer will be eventually 52.83. Okay? That's it. Question number 3. The equation above relates the number of minutes X Maria spends running each day. So X is for running. And the number of minutes Y she spends biking. So Y is for biking. In the equation, what does the number 75 represents? Okay, it should be not very challenging actually. X is the number of minutes she runs. Y is the number of minutes she bikes. So 75 is the total number she runs and bikes. So C should be the answer, the total number of minutes spent during running and biking each day. Okay, that was easy. On Saturday afternoon, Armand sent M text messages each hour for 5 hours. Here. And Tyrone sent P text messages each hour for 4 hours. Which of the following represents the total number of messages by Armand and Tyrone on Saturday afternoon? Okay, so for 5 hours, Armand sent M messages each hour. So a total of 5 M messages sent by Armand. Plus, what about Tyrone? Tyrone spent 4 hours messaging, and each hour sent P messages. A total of 4P is sent by Tyrone. So their sum, 5M plus 4P, will give us the total number of messages sent by 2. Okay. 5. A gardener buys 2 kinds of fertilizer. Fertilizer A contains 60% filler materials by weight, and fertilizer B contains 40% filler materials by weight. Together, the fertilizers bought by the gardener contain a total of 240 pounds of filler materials. Which equation models the relationship where X is the number of pounds of fertilizer A and Y is the number of pounds of fertilizer B? Okay, look at this. 60% is actually 60 times or 60 over 100, which is 6 over 10, which is 0.6. Okay? Similarly, 40% is 0.4. Yeah. So, fertilizer A X times 60%, 0.6, plus fertilizer B Y times 0.4, 40%, equals the total number of materials is 240. So we can just write it this way, 0.6x plus 0.4y equals 240, which I believe is in the choice B. The equation y equals 0.1x models the relationship between the number of different pieces of music a certain pianist practices. Why? So y represents number of pieces of music, and x represents minutes. So, how many pieces did the pianist practice if the session lasted 30 minutes? Okay, that means x is 30. Y equals 0.1 times x 30. 0.1 times 30 is actually 3. Y 0.1 equals 1/10. 0.1 times 30 is 1/10 times 30. When you cancel them, it's gonna be 3 pieces of music. Question 7. Line T is shown in the xy plane below. What is the slope of line T? Let me explain how we find the slope of a line with coordinates x1, y1 and x2, y2. The slope is change in y coordinates y2 minus y1 over change in x coordinates x2 minus x1. It's still rise over run. So in our example, I'm given more than I need. They give me 3 points on the line. 2 would be enough. I can choose any of them. I will choose this one and this one. So the slope m, usually we solve the slope with m, equals to y2 3/5 minus negative 27 over 5 divided by x2 is 9 minus x1 is negative 6. So it will be 3 over 5 plus 27 over 5 divided by 9 minus 6, it's going to be 15. So 30 over 5 over 15. So it will be 6 over 15 divided by 3, 2/5. The slope of this line is 2/5. Question 8. In the xy plane, the graph of which of the following equations is a line with a slope of 3? So, y equals to mx plus n. Where is the slope? Slope is the coefficient of x. So, the coefficient of x is 1/3. The coefficient of x is 1. The coefficient of x is 6. So the correct answer is C. Y equals to 3x plus 2 is a line with slope 3, my friends. It's another question. It's easy again. The graph of y equals to 3x minus 5. What is the slope? As we mentioned before, the slope of the line is the coefficient of x. When we have y in here. So the slope is nothing but 3. Question 10. The graph of a line in the xy plane has a positive slope. Okay, and intersect the y-axis at a point that has a negative y coordinate. So we are expecting something like this. It's not that important to know the graph itself, but a positive slope with negative y-intercept. That means we will have y equals to mx plus n, where m is positive and n is negative. Unfortunately, our equations are not given in this form. It's like slope-intercept form. We call it slope-intercept form, because we see the slope here easily and we see the intercept here. It's given in general form. General form is ax plus by equals to c. Okay, ax plus by equals to c is the general form. So we can obtain slope-intercept form by looking at the general form easily. Let's see. In part A, minus 3x plus 2y equals to negative 5. Take this to the right side. 2y equals to 3x minus 5. Divide both sides by 2. Y equals to 3 over 2 minus 5. 3 over 2 minus 5 over 2. X, obviously. So, the option A gives me the correct answer, because the slope is positive and the y-intercept is negative. The choice A is correct one, but I want to assure you that the others are not correct. Let me show you B. Negative 3x plus 2y equals to 5. 2y equals to, take it to the right side, 3x plus 5. Divide by 2, y equals to 3 halves x plus 5 halves. The slope is positive, but y-intercept is positive. We want y-intercept negative. So the others will be also not correct. The correct answer is choice A, my friends. Question 11. In the xy plane above, the line K passes through the points 0, 2 and 3, 0. Okay, 0, 2 is here. This is 0, 2. And 3, 0 is here. Okay. If line K is defined by the equation y equals to mx plus b, that means slope-intercept form. What is the slope? And what is y-intercept? Actually, they are asking me what is y-intercept, b. And it's not very challenging. Let me explain it to you. The graph obviously passes from 2 here and 3 here. Y equals to mx plus b. It's not asking me the slope. Yeah, it's not asking me m. Let's say it's asked. M is simply rise over run. So rise, it's not rising, obviously, it's declining. So rise is negative 2 over run is 3. So the slope m can be found easily, like rise over run. You can concentrate on this. If it's leaning to the left, that's a negative slope, as we mentioned before. So, and b is very obvious, my friends. It's 2, because b is the y-intercept. So they are asking me b. B is simply 2. On a 210-mile trip, Cameron drove at an average speed of 60 miles per hour for the first X hours. So, it's speed times the duration plus, then he completed the trip driving at an average speed of 50 miles per hour for the remaining Y hours. And the trip took 210 miles. So when you multiply the speed of the vehicle and the duration, you get the distance. And this is the total distance after all. They give me x equals to 1. So what is y? If x equals to 1, I will substitute 1 here. So it's going to be 60 times 1 plus 50y equals to 210. 50y equals, like, you know what, add negative 60 both sides, it will be 150 divided by 50, y equals to 3. So for 3 hours, he drove 50 miles per hour. That's good. Question 13. Which of the following statements is true about the graph of the equation 2y minus 3x equals to negative 4? So we're talking about slopes being positive or negative and y-intercept being positive or negative. So I want to obtain y equals to mx plus n form. This form is called slope-intercept form. Is it in slope-intercept form yet? No. Let's make it into 2y stays here. I can add both sides 3x. So it's going to be like 3x minus 4. And then divide by 2. Y equals to 3 halves x minus 2. Okay, let's do the statement. Positive slope, negative y-intercept. Positive slope, negative y-intercept. I see it in choice D. Question 14 asks me which of the following could be an equation for the graph shown in the xy plane above. So negative slope, positive y-intercept, it's all over here. So it's not about that. It's more about this. If this is 1 unit, 2, 3, 4 units. So it's gonna be y equals to mx plus 4. Yeah. So choice A and choice D are cancelled. What next? Now we will talk about slope. What is rise over run? From here, run is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Rise 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 1/3. But obviously the rise was negative 4 because it's declining here. It's not rising. So it should be a negative term. So it's going to be like negative 1/3 x plus 4. That is on choice C. Question 15 gives me a linear equation, okay, in 2 variables. In the xy plane, the graph of which of the following equations is perpendicular to the graph of the equation above? So, perpendicular lines means product of slopes -1. For example, if one line has a slope 1/2, the other one it has to be with slope -2. So when you multiply them, their product should be a -1, okay? So if you have a slope A over B, the other line has a slope -B over A, okay? So first let's find the slope of our line. It's 3y equals 2x plus 6. Like I'm taking the 2x to the right and divide by 3. Y equals to 2/3 times x plus 2. So the slope of this line is 2/3. So my slope from here should be, okay, 2/3, no, 3/2 and a negative sign before it. Okay, that's good. So which slope is negative 3 over 2? Which slope is negative 3 over 2? Let's try with A. In A, 3x plus 2y equals to 6. Take it to the right side. 2y equals to negative 3x plus 6. Y equals to 3 over 2x plus 3. Okay. In the first shot, we found it. Look at this. So let me do a quick review. Our equation was given in general form. I made it into slope-intercept form. I gathered the information about the slope, which was 2 over 3, and I know that my slope will be negative reciprocal, like a over b, but not a over b and b over a, and negative b over a. So it is going to be negative 2 over 3 over 2 is in the first choice. The answer is A. Question 16. It tells me line M is in the xy plane containing 2 points, 2, 4, and 0, 1. Which of the following is an equation of line M? So, given 2 points, like 2, 4, and 0, 1, you can write the equation completely. How? First, you need the slope. Slope is simple. y2 or minus y1 over x2 minus x1, which is 1 minus 4 divided by 0 minus 2, which is negative 3 over negative 2, which is 3 halves. Okay, which equation has 3 halves as its slope? A says slope is 2, not correct. B says slope is 2, not correct. So C and D. Okay. I can go for writing the equation of a line using slope and the point. Okay, but in this one I will do simple. The equation should satisfy the points. Let's check. That means when I put x equals to 0 and y equals to 1, it should satisfy the equation. Let's try part C, choice C. Y equals to 1 equals to 3 over 2 times 0 plus 3. C is not the answer. The correct answer is D. Let me show it to you. Y equals to 3 over 2x plus 1. Substitute 0 into the x and substitute 1 into y. 1 equals to 0 plus 1. So that's the correct equation. So our line has equation 3 over 2x plus 1. Question 17 looks a little bit complicated, but let's see if that's the case. Tony spends $80 per month on public transportation. A 10 ride pass costs $12.50 and the single ride pass costs $1.50. If G represents the number of 10 ride passes Tony buys in a month, and T represents the number of single ride passes Tony buys in a month, which of the following equations best represent the relationship between G and T? Okay, here is the important fact. This 10 ride pass, this 10 here is for confusing you. Okay, so G is for number of 10 ride passes, and each 10 ride pass costs $12.50 plus T represents the number of single ride passes, and he pays $1.50 for those, and in total he pays $80. So this is the equation we are looking for, and it is, I believe, choice D. Question 18. In the xy plane, line L has a slope of 2 if line K is perpendicular to line L. So we have a line with slope 2. We have another line K that's perpendicular to 90 degrees, perpendicular to this line, which is K. We're looking for its slope. No, it's not. We're looking for its slope. It said which can be the equation. But first of all, if this line L has slope 2, then K has slope negative 1 over 2. The idea here is 2 times negative 1/2 is negative 1. So that's the case. Slope of 2 perpendicular lines is negative 1. Their product is negative 1. So we're looking for a line here which has slope negative 1/2. Okay. Which one? Let's try D. Okay. 6x plus 12y equals to 36. Then add both sides negative 6x. 12y is negative 6x plus 36. And divide everywhere by 12. Like this. So it's y negative 1/2 x plus 3. So that's the line we're looking for with a slope of negative 1/2, my friends. 19. The table above shows the coordinates of 3 points on a line in the xy plane where k and n are constants. If the slope of the line is 2, what is the value of k plus n? From here, what I understand is we have 3 points on the same line. Doesn't matter which one is where, I'm just writing them here. So one point is 3, 7, the next one is k, 11, and the third one is 12, n. Remember, the slope is given as what? 2. So remember that. y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1 is the slope. Let's do that. Here, take these 2 points. 11 minus 7 divided by k minus 3 should be the slope, 2. That is 4 over k minus 3 is 2. That is k minus 3 is 2, then k is 5. Now, okay, take these 2 points now. Slope n, y2 n minus 7 divided by 12 minus 3 is 2. N minus 7 over 9 is 2. N minus 7 is 18. N is 25. So k plus n is 5 plus 25, which is 30. Question 20. To earn money for college, Avery works 2 part-time jobs, A and B. She earns $10 per hour working at job A and $20 per hour working at job B. In 1 week, Avery earned a total of S dollars for working at the 2 part-time jobs. The graph above represents all possible combinations of numbers of hours Avery could have worked at the 2 jobs to earn S dollars. What is the value of S? Okay. It's a little bit complicated, but I will make it simple. So, think of it like this. This is X hours for job A and Y hours for job B. So look at this, X and Y. If she works 16 hours for job A, she works 0 hours for work B. Similarly, if she works 5, 6, 7, 8 hours for job Y, for job B, she works 0 hours for job A. In both cases, she earns the same amount as dollars. Remember, for every point on this line, she earns S dollars in total. So I'm concentrating on these two edges, these 2 points. For example, 16 hours for job A, and each hour gives her $10. So $160 if she works 16 hours for work A and 0 hours for work B. Similarly, she works 8 hours to earn $20 per hour from job B, and it's still 160. That is, my friends, the one that we want to find. The total amount she earns is $160. Whatever she chooses to work, like if she chooses to work some hours for work A and some hours for work B, still she earns the same amount, $160. But why bother these points when we have the edges where here y is 0, x is 16, and here x is 0, y is 8, just like this. 21. A line in the xy plane has a slope of 0. Which of the following could be an equation of the line? Lines with 0 slope are horizontal lines. All these lines have 0 slope. And these lines are like y equals to 2, y equals to 3, y equals to 1/2, a constant. Those answers appears in choice B. For example, x equals to 0 is a perpendicular line, slope undefined, not 0. Choice C is y equals to x. Slope is not 0, slope is 1. Choice D is y equals to negative x. Slope is not 0, slope is negative 1. So the correct answer is y equals to 1 is a horizontal line with slope 0. 22. A line in the xy plane passes through the origin and has a slope of 1/7. Which of the points lies on the line? Okay, let me tell you this. If a line passes through the origin, its equation is y equals to mx, m being slope. So in our example, slope is given and it's said to be passing through the origin, so its equation is y equals to 1/7x. So which line passes through that? Let me see. Choice D, I believe. What is it? Y equals to 1/7x. Y is 2. 1/7 times x is 14. Yeah, that's the correct answer. So 14/2 is the point where y equals to 1/7x passes. Question 23. The points plotted on the coordinate plane, let me show you the points. above represents the possible numbers of wallflowers and cornflowers that someone can buy at a garden store in order to spend exactly $24. Let me show you this. If someone buys 4 cornflowers and 9 wallflowers, he will pay $24. If he buys 8 cornflowers and 6 wallflowers, he will pay the same amount. So the idea here, why don't I concentrate on these points, like wallflowers and cornflowers. If I buy 12 wallflowers and 0 cornflowers, I pay $24. And if I buy 0 wallflowers and 16 cornflowers, I will pay again $24. So 12 wallflowers gives me $24. That is, W is 2, but I'm supposed to find C, I believe, yeah. So it's gonna be like 16 cornflowers is $24. Divide both sides by 16. C equals to 24 over 16. Cancel with 8, like 3 over 2. It's $1.5. It says, do not write in the grid with dollars, just 1.5 would be enough. Question 24. In the line XY, in the XY plane, line L has a y-intercept of -13. Okay, so y equals to mx plus n. I know that n is -13. What about slope? Do I know the slope? It says this line is perpendicular to the line with equation y equals to -2 over 3x. Okay, we know another line whose slope is -2 over 3. Our slope is negative reciprocal, like 3 over 2. Yeah, their product is -1. So our equation is 3 over 2x minus 13. What does it say? 10b is on the line L. What is b? So I will substitute 10 for x and b for y. b equals to 3 halves times 10 minus 3, which is minus 13, sorry, which is 15 minus 13, which is 2. So b is gonna be 2. Yep. 25. The graph of a line in the xy plane passes through the point 1, 4 and crosses the x-axis at 2, 0, crosses y-axis 0, b. What is the value of b, they say. Let's see what is it talking about. 1, 4. Let's say 1, 4 is here. And the line passes for 2, 0. 2, 0. Where is 2, 0? 2, 0 is here. So it's kind of like this kind of line. The graph is not that important, but we're looking for this point. Okay, it's 2, 0. Now what can we do? Okay, let's write the equation of the line together. First of all, slope. y2 minus y1, 4 minus 0, over x2 minus x1, 1 minus 2, it's -4 as slope. So I will tell you something, my friends. If you have a point x1, y1 and slope, the equation of the line is y minus y1 equals to m times x minus x1. That's how we write equation of a line if we know its slope and a point on the line. I will take this. I know the slope, m equals to -4, and I know a point, 2, 0. So y1 is 0. The slope is -4 times x minus x1 is 2. Y equals to -4x plus 8. Okay, what is it asking me to find b? B is actually y-intercept. It happens to be y-intercept of the equation, of the line, which is actually 8. So b is nothing but 8. Y, again, we know the slope, we know the y-intercept. That y-intercept happens to be 0b. That b is nothing but 8 here.